back to the larger issue. One, I read your article today. One point which I very distinctly remember is you said that the political mainstream should be engaged. If you recall, when the first time when the PDP and the BJP came to power in Kashmir, there was a concerted attempt to create a third force. A lot of professional doctors, if you recall, a lot of Delhi, a lot of student leaders from Delhi went to Kashmir. But if you look at the election results, the older political parties came back. All of them lost elections. They were not able to create sustainable political roots. One, why? And when you speak about the engagement, are you speaking about the older political parties like PDP and NC?
Yes, absolutely. I'm talking of all mainstream political forces, all political forces that are not anti-India. See, because you can, there are two, there are the separatists. We know who the separatists are. The separatists have different levels of extremisms, meaning you have certain militants, you have certain terrorists, and then, of course, behind everyone, you have Pakistan, which conducts a proxy war against India, utilizing these separatists on occasion. So when I say that there is need, for an engagement with with these forces, what I'm trying to get at is, you see, I think I heard the general speak of, the difficulty in combating such insurgencies.
What he said.
And that you simply cannot win against these insurgencies. But I beg to differ. It is possible to defeat these insurgencies if your strategy and tactics are correct. There are two instances which are very well known. We ourselves in India, resolved the Mizo issue. Mizoram insurgency was quite deadly. The Indian Air Force also had to bomb Mizoram. Aizawl was bombed by the Indian Air Force. And yet, today, Mizoram is one of the most peaceful states in the northeast. The second is the example of Northern Ireland, where again there was a very intense struggle, terrorist tactics were used, bomb blasts took place, but eventually applying the rule of the law, applying discriminate, force. My complaint is that there is a tendency to use indiscriminate force. Demolishing house. Now, what was the purpose of demolishing the house of this fellow? This guy is dead. And if he was such a good family man, he would not have been a terrorist. Now, who is the sufferer from demolishing his house? His entire family. If his family is guilty, put them in jail by all means. But what do you're trying to copy Israeli tactics. But the problem is that Israel is the worst example. Israel is the worst example in counterterrorism. Because they have successively failed. They have never managed to achieve anything. Today they have finally obliterated Gaza. So now do you want to obliterate Kashmir? Obviously we don't, because Kashmir belongs to us. Kashmir is part of India. We don't want what happened in Gaza to happen in Kashmir. So we have to have a strategy which mixes the use of force. Use of force is important. There's no doubt about that. Use of force is important, but it must be discriminately used. It should not be used indiscriminately. That is my point.
Okay. So my question is to Sudhakar ji. Then how do you define deterrence? There have been a lot of time when the army has said, then how do you create deterrence? There have been issues of stone pelting, indiscriminate firing. Then how do you create deterrence? And your response to Manoj Joshi, Sudhakar ji.
Yeah, good. I'm glad that you're asking the question, deterrence.
Deterrence is the issue. How do you create deterrence then?
Yes. That is the moot question which you have actually put your finger on. But before that, let me put things in the perspective. As per my understanding, you see, we are discussing the issue in 21st century in the backdrop of a couple of turnaround points. The couple of turnaround points is Article 370-35 alpha having been abrogated. J&K situation is not same as what is obtaining in or what was obtaining in Mizoram. Dynamics in northeastern portion of India are totally different from the dynamics in the western portion or the border with the Pakistan. Number three, yes, I do agree. Let's not draw parallels or compare Jammu and Kashmir with Gaza. Gaza and Jammu and Kashmir, they have no common parameters or identity. So, having given this background, let me also highlight and underscore one issue. The creation of Pakistan, the genesis of Pakistan, I always call it as a genetic disorder. It was artificially, unfortunately created. Many of us actually home on to the argument of religion, two-nation theory, but very few of us go on to the point of what was the primary reason of creation of Pakistan. That has to be understood. It is not only the terrorists that we are handling. There are multiple challenges. There is a challenge of USA having taken Munir onto the lap. There is also a challenge of China having joined hands today. How many of us know that there is a carrier optical fiber laid between the Chengdu headquarters, Western Theatre Command headquarters of PLA, with Rawalpindi, and what we are witnessing or suffering at the hands of Pakistan are not actually perpetrated by Pakistan. They may be done under the clear directions of China. Now, having said this, now let me come straight to your point regarding the deterrence. There was a time when India used to exercise a doctrine of strategy of restraint way back in 2008. We had an opportunity. Our Air Force Chief did go up to the political leadership offering his services. Sir, give us the permission. Army Chief went there. But for some reason not understood by military people at the national level to protect and safeguard the national interest, a call was taken, no, you see, striking back or hitting them back would be inappropriate. It was inappropriate in 2008. However, in 2016 and 2019 and 2025, it was considered as the most suitable option to give it back. Hence, the Indian doctrine underwent a kind of a change. That change was the deterrence of deniability shifted or migrated to deterrence of punishment. हम बोल के बोलते हैं ना घर के अंदर घुस के मारेंगे. But every reprisal, every retaliation also has got a counter kind of a measure by the adversary. What is the countermeasure? Why Pakistan is doing what it is doing? As per my analysis, Pakistan is doing simply because there is a bigger challenge for existence of Pakistan. If they don't do what they did, if they had not done Pahalgam on 22nd of April, perhaps in my opinion, Pakistan would have not balkanized, would have broken up into pieces, because it is Pakistan which is existing by virtue of the image of the Pakistan army. Pakistan Corps Commander's house was burnt. It was not vandalized, it was burnt. It is the same army which is worshipped like demigod in Pakistan, and same Pakistanis have burnt a Corps Commander's house. That reflects the kind of impression and image.
So Rakesh, what I noticed in the last couple of months was, for the first time in the narrative, I heard the word, after a long time, Nazariya Pakistan, which Asim Munir was tackling, and he spoke about that.